This is an article from GameInfinitus.com. Halo Infinite player count dips below Halo the Master Chief Collection on Steam. The other day I'd done a video about the player count from Battlefield 2042 being surpassed greatly by Battlefield 5. This isn't quite the same, although it on the surface, people could certainly try to make it out to be like Halo Infinite. It's like stumbling on its ass and stuff, and it's not doing as well as it should. But here's the thing: the Master Chief Collection just got a big update, the April update, and of course Halo Infinite's going to get their big update in May. Anyway, here's what comes to the Master Chief Collection. It gets upgraded with flood-based firefight content, cross-platform co-op for Halo 3, and a number of other improvements. It talks about, though its main focus is squarely on firefight improvements and adding the flood to the popular co-op game mode, there's much more to it than just that. The list of additions is unexpectedly long, introducing hefty improvements to an already sizable package. It goes into a little more detail. While the release of flood-themed content in the Master Chief Collection's firefight mode was teased a few days back, it might still seem a little strange to see 343 Studios updating what is effectively an 8-year-old game to such an extent. Aside from Floodfight, MCC now also offers experimental co-op multiplayer for Halo 3 and ODST, adding to these titles' replayability. Halo 4 gets the special campaign customization option, allowing players to see weapon skins in solo play. It goes on. Veteran players in particular may be thrilled to hear that Halo 2, Halo 3, and Halo ODST all got entirely new skulls added to the respective campaign modes, 16 of them in total. These are generally similar to Halo Infinite skulls and their effects, and add another reason for players to revisit their classic campaign experiences. The update is rather sizable and ranges from 11 gigabytes on Steam to 26.5 via the Microsoft Store app, with Xbox consoles sitting at around 20 gigabytes. All the above is available at no additional cost. Basically, and it goes on, it talks a little more. But that's probably the reason, because if you go and you look, they say the latest update on Steam database appears to show Halo Infinite ranked 201 on the most played games list. It had an all-time peak of 272,000 players and a 24-hour peak of 8.2, while the Master Chief Collection is comfortably ahead with a 24-hour peak of 9.2. Okay, and so I mean, it's like I said, the Master Chief Collection just got this big update, so it's expected. Now, what'll happen in a couple weeks when the Halo Infinite update comes out, and it's going to go higher? At least, presumably it'll be higher than the Master Chief Collection. Are they going to write all these articles about it? Probably not. They're probably going to sit there and say, well, hey, the narrative is that Halo Infinite has failed. It's not any good. We're just going to, keep plugging along on that. And, Halo Infinite is not what it could be. I don't think that's a hot take. It's not as good as the game could be, and like multiplayer and stuff. The campaign, like I said, one of the complaints about the game is like a co-op campaign, and that does suck, which was promised to arrive post-launch. It's reportedly launching along the new season in May, although it remains to be seen if this turns out to be the case. Slow updates and lack of a future update roadmap means that fans are frustrated about the state of the game. I can understand that, absolutely. It's frustrating because, campaign co-op, that's what, in my opinion, is like a big deal. I mean, it may depend. Other people may not give a shit about it, I don't know. But I care about it. I always, like, no matter the game, I like, campaign co-op. But, so it's, plus also, you're talking 1,000 extra players at a 24-hour peak. Just the fact that, now, you're not going to get to, 272,586 was the all-time peak for Halo Infinite. They're not going to reach that. I mean, you can't imagine that they're going to be reaching that anytime, realistically speaking. But the fact that their all-time peak was that high, if they come out with some good content for the game, there's going to be people who are going to say, well, you know what, I already got the game, I already bought it or whatever, or I've got Game Pass or what have you. I'm going to try it, and then they might end up liking it, and bam, this is going to be not forgotten, but largely overlooked when the history of the game is written. Say 10 years from now or whatever. Anyway, just the point is you got these people. This is from Game Rant, by the way, the other article I was reading. But anyhow, it's very indicative that you got people who just going to be making these grandiose articles and stuff. Halo Infinite's, basically falling down and they can't get up and all that kind of stuff. When the reality is there's a little more nuance to it, which is one of the things that's absolutely missing from quote-unquote games journalism, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. I'll go ahead and wrap this up. I've already gone over 5 minutes. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good one.